I only charge it when it gets around about the 30%.
No, it's better when it's become red, like a 5%. Don't charge until it's 5%, but sometimes even if it dies, let it die, and then charge it, otherwise battery is getting...
It's a bit of a worry though, when, because they don't want it to drop out.
No, like when, even during the, let's say he's about to teach there the 5%, you can still connect and charge it.
I'll let them know that.
For the battery life, otherwise...
Can you talk to Tuku about that for certain?
I think you know, right? He has an Apple phone. Like, if you don't charge until it dies, you will lose. I don't know about your phone, but mostly...
No, it's just that when it's being low, I think it's up until...
if you charge it, it's little, when it's 5%, it's still gonna be... I thought you were taking care of it, but...
Yes, I am, but when it's low,
30% you charge, then the battery is going to be like a, shorter and shorter.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Okay, good morning. So we'll do this Manjushri prayer. Lo mandang gumbo jamba yang la janza lo kange londe jinyen jinda nidra namdara zave jinyen deng jijin zijir nijin tukar lekbam zen konda sip Sandra Mari Mendon Dunga Jizreven Rozo Kenla Puji Darze Yenla and Ruju Yondens Rudra Chendo Nyemo Nilo Legend Jadron Roze Mari Menzen Dunga Nyago Jinyen Junzer Alden Denen dajen saje tarzen yenden lezon jazen dove Chudan Chudan Chunyin Jinde Dole Menzen Jambe Yonglo De Umara Pazana 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 Umara Pazana De Zeden Jeje Chenra Vezre Dalen de mo membarazane kadan denje jonlon dobai loje pobe no wan zandu zon jen don je jingo redan jingo jan zen janda kaden zonda majeba Polo jinchi jinjabe jindu jima me balangura de gozongu bajin bingunen chanza jinjab zojiu shiwanen zeram tamji do tu jinji zon zimbaranze dozo kongi jazanda e mingum gezar zimbe nonda jin zimbe ziven zindum barben dukun mi gendu zinjur tuji dama kune jiren jiden sumji konjabe tuan be mongarbe shaben dirinda leyen zurajon ujin zolen be mendom bozir Jayanando Ranjan Linjido, Zenzo Vijin, Denjon Barvi, Pema Junen Dale Yenzurjon. Gombolo Dwarian Devadan, Tome Nyencholan Jijinda, Chujun Janam Nyembawazo, Zanlin Jinjo Nanjinda Ejon. Korinde Garan Jingin Bengula, Yendengun Junga Vishasardo, Nimbi Denzi Bibi Nanjarba. Chime vezre shabjinda e jon, ridon jamba shunu jinole, ngumbi lonle popinta jindu, lundu chinzin jamze ngawanjir, mibam jambi anjinda e jon. Kongi dala riba loba dan, duji tenje menga nangla so, labanza dan unguru shinabi, nguji tinchen la menda e jon, namunguru, chinyimba mendenji, shesala kunja ranjun tuji jimbe jen, tuji kalaka menta nangwa, Palden la mi jabjin da e jong, yunde sanje kun da nyana ya, kadin sanje kun le la bingen, so yin la mi shala so ande. Azun do jun do wara shin je lo, kondo jujur nongin jide na ande she lo mar jurba kansu da, dindir dambi ju jinjar bebe. Simbar devan tada andir she she, namwari antamba, lai ke dan lu dan nu jinge, nduponda dami ke nam dan, dua kunji danam jisambar. Tamje ke do sosur te jurji. Majurndua naka danyam besim jen tamje, namdul dengi dewa lana me bayanda vanzo bisanji jingu kwanrum barchela. Chine jangwe prasha, te che do, tekpa chimbe shunglu, jazir chimbo shival ha, teni jidzebe, chanju sembe choba lanjuba teni tsushindu senne, nyamsu lamar jo nyamdo. Samba chanju chodo samke badan chede, sembar nawar show. So first, listen this teaching with having a vacant mind within oneself. To have this awakened mind within oneself, we need to generate these motivations to willing to free or the liberate from the cyclic existence and its cause, and then to lead them to complete enlightenment, to all motherly sentient beings equal to its space. And for this purpose, I'm going to studying or listening this Mahayana scripture, which is composed by Shantideva, the way of Bodhisattva's life. And then additionally listen carefully in an excellent way and implement it, the meaning and then vote. So just to prepare all of this. And then the actual teaching, we are learning this, the way of Bodhisattva's life, which contained this 10th chapter with the 4 theme. So the 6th chapter we completed so far. That with the 2 theme, which is the how to receive the Bodhisattva's vow within oneself and to maintain without transgressions, and if transgressed, how to repair or the kind of like a what is it? And that theme we completed, and now here the 3rd theme, which is and so which talks the diligence, meditation, and conviction, or the wisdom. So these 3 are required, and in order to develop or improved one's awakened mind, or further to developed, or until the final destiny, until what state or what stage that one could develop this bodhicitta, or the awakened mind. And that is introducing by these 3 chapters, 7, 8, 9, with the diligence, meditation, and conviction. And then the last theme is the dedication and making aspirations. So today we are here, the 3rd theme, the how to develop the awakened mind. And then to do this, so 3 things are basically required. The first one is diligence. So here we are studying how and what is diligence, and how one could the habit, or how one can develop diligence within oneself. For that, then we need to understand the exact opposite, or the contraries of diligence, which is the laziness. And the laziness also we should understand in a very thoroughly, in order to understand very thoroughly. So there are 3 subdivisions about laziness. So the first one is laziness of procrastinations, and then the second one is the laziness of clinging to unwholesome actions, and then the third one is the laziness of discouraging oneself. So far, Shantideva already instructed this, how to deal or lay it low, or eventually extinguish the first and third laziness. So now here we are, Shantideva guiding us how to remove this second type of laziness, which is the laziness of clinging to unwholesome actions. For this, and this is the biggest laziness, that it is so vast. Within this laziness, there are so many different senses are involved there. So therefore, and to antidote for those, each sense, we need to have the opposite sense, that which laying it low or extinguish those each and every individual sense, that which is all belongs to laziness of clinging to unwholesome actions. So among them, so first the is kind of like aspiration. Here we translated in this book aspirations, or we can use like a inclination or interest. So I think all these 3 are same meaning. So the aspiration is the one that here now Shantideva mainly here, actually he is introducing. There are 6 different antidotes we needed in order to lay it low and extinguish this laziness of clinging to unwholesome actions. So among those 6 antidotes, the first is the aspirations. The aspirations we needed. We need to generate aspirations within oneself. So this aspiration is kind of like a, and then the one thing, and then the second thing is, what do we call it? That, where is that? Yeah, self-confidence and relinquishment and joy, and the by strength of earnest application and exertion of control. So these are the 6. The stanza 32, yesterday we covered this. So this stanza 32, therefore leaving everything that is adverse to it, I will labor to increase my diligence. So in order to labor to increase my diligence, what I need is that how I will going to doing it through developing those aspirations, self-confidence, relinquishment, and joy by strength of earnest application and exertion of control. So these are the 6, we can call like 6 different sense. So, or these are the 6 different antidote that which exactly defeats, or how to say, consume this our the sense of laziness or defeat the laziness. The second type of laziness, actually within this second type of laziness, and first and last could also kind of like a, include as well actually, but they separately talked it because it is kind of like also site on the site very much needed anyhow. So the here mainly talks about these 6 antidotes to remove this second laziness. And then among these 6 antidotes, Shantideva introducing the first antidote, how one should have the aspirations or inclinations. And then he is introducing to, where we should have aspirations or inclinations. And then that described from this stanza 33 and 34. And we should have aspirations to willing to cleanse all this or the abandon all this, and we should have a aspiration. And then stanza 36, that it introducing that we should have aspirations or inclinations to gain or to obtain all these good qualities here. And I mentioned what does it mean, good qualities and the evils. That above it mentions the boundless evil of myself and others. And then the good quality, the later in the stanza 35, good quality for my and others' sake. So what does it mean, the boundless evils, and what does it mean, the good qualities? So which we elaborated yesterday. So I hope everybody remember this. So what does it mean? And then towards this, we should have aspirations or inclinations. And without having the opposite, okay, opposite means that instead of having inclination or aspirations to abandon all those boundless evils, if we have interested engaging into those boundless evils, then this is here known as a laziness. Likewise, instead of the inclination or aspirations to gain or obtain all these good qualities, and rather than neglecting or rejecting all this, and that is considering as the laziness of clinging to unwholesome actions as well. So opposite becomes exactly the second laziness. Mm, and then further here, that as said yesterday, that stanza the 37, so we stopped here, right? 37. So the offering to the Buddhas I have never made, and no feast were ever held through my donations. No works have I accomplished for the teachings. The wishes of the poor I left unsatisfied. And that's where yesterday, that when it comes to this third line, no works I have accomplished for the teachings, then I said that there's so many things to talk about this. Actually, all of this, each of this line that we can talk a lot too, actually. For instance, this first line, that offering to the Buddhas I have never met, here now again. So the offering to the Buddha, offering means the in Tibetan word chepa means the uh, the activity which pleasing the object, that's considering as an offering. And I think in English same, is it? The offering means the action which pleasing the object, pleasing the other person or the object whosoever you are giving it. So actually the offering actions, that is the purpose of offering actions, actually. Absolutely, that we we are offering anything, so we think, we feel that that helps the objects, that helps. So here either we say helps or pleased. So the pleased is a stronger word. So in Tibetan, nyeparcheba, yeah, make the how to say, um, the action which pleasing the object, it's considering, is the definition of offering. So here, the offering to the Buddha I have never made. So, which means I said yesterday, remove, erase this never, no, no. And then it becomes like offering to the Buddha I have made. To that, we need to have aspirations or inclinations. And feast were ever held through my donation. To this action, we need to have inclination without adding this no. No is just deleted, removed, erased it. And then again, work have I accomplished for the teachings. Yeah, this have I is become like a question, right? Work I have accomplished for the teachings. So change a little bit here. And then the wishes of the poor I fulfilled instead of left unsatisfied. And so that, and then on the other hand, we can also understand this word with the without removing any of those words. Offering to the Buddha I have never met, I should have aspirations to remove this. And no feast were ever held through my donation, and I should have aspirations to remove this. And then no work have I accomplished for the teachings, I should have aspirations to remove this from myself. And that way we can also understand. Anyhow, the either way, either you go from the right or left, but the point is the aspirations, the how to say, generating, the cultivating the aspirations towards wholesome actions. So that's what it is talking about. So without doing any of this, so First, let me go a little bit detailed, since these are some sort of like a, I felt it so important for us to understand, because these are the some activities that normally the person who is willing to practice the spiritual path, uh, they most of the time they engaging into these activities, right? So the offering to the Buddha I have never made, means that one should have aspirations to uh, remove this one, abandon this one, and then one should have aspirations or inclinations to engage into offering to the Buddha's activity here. So the now, this one, the person who is trying to practice spirituals and then trying to please their teacher and uh, trying to please Buddha, Triple J, and the teachers, the in person, that the person who really present in front of you, being a bridge between you and Dharma, the teacher. The teacher's job. The uh, one main job of the teacher is to be a bridge, be a bridge between the disciple and Dharma. So teacher are trying to teach all this Dharma, what Buddha taught, what is already in the scriptures. And sometimes these scriptures, merely reading all this may not understanding what is the meaning exactly, those Buddhas and those great Bodhisattvas trying to teach us. So we must rely on those teachers who spend so many time to study all these things, and then relying on them, depending on them, so we can understand all this meaning, what is hidden there, and what is exactly meaning it's for. For instance, that yesterday we went through this 33 and 34 stanza and 35 and 36 stanza. By, if you just merely read it, and that if you're really getting it, those meaning or not, I don't know. That, so this is, I'm just giving you a one example that what is the main purpose of relying on teachers here. So that rely on teachers could help us to understand all this. And then, yes, myself, I also understand all this through relying on my own teacher. And then I have many teachers, right? And relying on them, listening their advice, descriptions, and explanations about all these teachings. And that's how I gain a little bit this wisdom, that knowledge, that which I'm trying here to share with you. And then this is all, it's going like that. Anyhow, so offering to the Buddhas, or the offering to the Triple James, and offering to the teachers, as normally and the everywhere in the world, that persons whoever practicing, and they just trying all the time their best to offer the whatever they could, right? Whatever they could to the Triple Gem. Even tiny, like let's say, like even we offer butter lamb to the Triple Gem, and then the flower to the Triple Gem, and then fragrance, incense, and then food, and then within a food, the apples, oranges, rice, and so many kind of like uncountable things are there, that which we could offer to Triple Gem, as well as we could offer to the teachers as well. And but this is something we doing it actually. So here now, what I am really trying to let all of us to understand is the offering here. Offering means the action which please the object. So the action which please the object. And normally we have saying there are three different ways to please the object, please the triple gem, and please the teacher. So that I think it is important for all of us to understand. And what are those? And these actions are also some of these actions also related with this third line, the no work, the work I have accomplished for the teachings. And some of these offering activities are also related with this third one too. I will tell you later. The first that I want all of us to understand is there are three ways to please the triple gem and please the teacher. And remember this. And all three ways is some sort of like a very intense or some sort of like a very strong, very great activities. So later when I say, oh, this is more important than the first one, and third one is more important than the second one, then one should not take, oh, so first and second is not important, so third is only important. No. It is all talking based on an important. And within an important, they are more important. This is always there. Within a good, there's a better and excellent. And likewise, within an important, there's a more important and kind of like how to, I don't know now how to say that. And then nowadays maybe the adding, like how many words you added, it becomes more important, right? More important. More important. So this is something silly to say, but this is how, yes, they are exist like that. Within an important, they are like that. Everything is important, but within an important, there are levels. There are levels, there are stage. So the first here, offering to the triple gems and offering to the Buddhas, the how one should do it is, the first one, it is saying the offering the substance which supports the triple gem to remain, or teacher to remain. For instance, the substance support means like as we do, normally we do, like offering the cloth, offering food, offering shelter, or we can use like an offering room or house to teacher to stay. And then likewise the how to say offering, also we do like sometimes when we invited some our very important teachers, and then we just for the how to say book the hotel, hotel rooms. We are offering this. We are offering to our teachers, so that for him to kind of like have a comfort, so he can do all his activities properly. For that, and we are offering. These are all considering as an offering to the Buddhas and teachers, and offering to the triple gems, like offering room, offering, and then offering, what do you call it? Offering right? Offering right. I'm talking all this related with the today's, this modern world, how we can do it. Offering is offering to the Buddhas. Offer the rights and offer the rooms to stay, offer the clothes to wear, offer the foods to eat, offer the drinks, waters. And when when we say drinks, it does not mean alcohol, okay? Here in the Westerns, when it's a drink, then it doesn't really considering those water and fresh juice, right? It's direct go to those alcohol. Is it, Annie?
Yes.
Normally, normally drink means direct go to the alcohols.
Yes, depending on which yes.
Okay, so like that. So here, what I am saying, like, and then offering, yes, and then we do sometimes that you all guys coming here and off sometimes you offering to me, right? And then you offering to Sangha member here in the centers. And these are all offering activities. And one hand, you can do it. And then the second way of offering, okay, this is the first way of pleasing the triple gem and teachers, the object. And then the second way of pleasing the triple gem and the teacher is that the saying kind of like a serving them physically and verbally, serving. So which is including the kind of like a cleaning the rooms and washing the clothes and making foods. And as I said earlier, that the right is also you are serving, right? You are serving your venerable teacher or your venerable triple gem. So these are also all considering like a serving the physically and verbally. And that is the second way that we can make offer. And then the third way of offering is the best, that is considering as now uh, within this importantness, the most important, the offering, which is the uh, kind of like the what really those Buddhas want us to do it. For instance, here now, here, what is the really wish that Buddha, and here particularly related with this scripture book, Shantideva, what he is really willing us to do is to generate bodhicitta and maintain this bodhisattva spell and then developed further, right? This is, I'm just talking very brief. It has so many thorough detail, meaning insight, right? But I'm just very, so this is what Shantideva, he really wishing by teaching this way of bodhisattva's life to his disciple. So the third one, the best offering is the, for instance, if I really want to, how to say, best offer to the Shantideva, then I have to generate bodhicitta all the time, every day, and I have to try to maintain this bodhisattva's vow, and then I need to try to develop further this bodhicitta, the awakened mind within oneself. If I do this, and this will going to be this activities will going to be the best offering to Shantidevas, and likewise to the Buddhas, and likewise to the teachers, right? Teachers, they teach all these things, that what we're really wishing is that, oh, so after listening this, may all those who are listening, may they will trying to implement all these instructions. That's the ultimate wishes of Dharma teachings. From teacher, they should have this wish. And then Buddha, absolutely, he have completely only this wish that he have held in, and none of others. And like those great bodhisattvas, all those sangha, great sanghas, right? Great sanghas such as like a Manjushri and Avalokiteshvara, Maitreya and Vajrapani and so on, all those great masters. and then like those in those the beings like such like Shantideva himself here, and then Arya Nagarjuna and so on, Chandrakirti and Dharmakirti, so many great the teachers happened in India as well as in Himalayan region, many, and particularly in Tibet. So there are many great masters, uh, such as like Bhairocana during the old time, and then those all 25 great disciples, they keep just trying, coming back to provide all these teachings to facilitate to all sentient beings so they can implement it. So they are not lacking of all any of this spiritual guidance. And then likewise, then later many great masters, and among the all four major Tibetan Buddhism, there are four major classes of Tibetan Buddhisms. There are many great masters happenings in Nyingma, like Longchen Pa and Jigme Lingpa, Mepham Rinpoche, and the, how to say, what do you call on that? The how can I forget that very important person's name? So this, what do you call it? The earliest translated one that even before Kunjan Longchenpa. So now it is not remembering me. I'm losing this memory. And then likewise, according to the Sajja, there are also many great teachers like Sajja Pandita and so on. Koram, and there are many like Korampa and so. Then likewise in the Kaju, likewise in the Geluk, like the most famous scholar, teacher in the Geluk, they were well known as the Jekut Dzongkhapa. Then his great two disciples, Kedubje and Gyaltsabje, and then so many that kind of like so Dalai Lama's continuation rebirth of Dalai Lama's, most of them doing very great, and then yeah, some of them are also sometimes another classes of Tibetan Buddhists. Anyway, so in short, so what I am trying to really saying is that those all in the past, all those great sanghas, right? In short, those great sanghas. What does it mean? Why I am saying this is the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, right? The Sangha, those great sanghas, their ultimate wishes is to facilitate all these teachings to us so we can implement it. So therefore, so the implementing all these instructions, and at the present, my own root teacher like Penar Rinpoche, he's worked tirelessly whole his life to propagate all these teachings and then facilitate all this Dharma practice to everywhere in the world, actually, not only in India, not only in his monastery, but also the whole, he's trying his best to establish the Dharma centers everywhere in the world. Nowadays, we can still see it by our naked eye. This is all because what he's really wishing, the main wishing is for us to implement it. So we can have all these facilities, so we can implement it. So therefore, what I'm saying is the implementing all these teachings is the best offering to the Buddhas, to those great Sanghas. So offering to the Buddhas here, and related with this word, I am telling you all this, how one can make offering to the Buddhas and all these triple gems by through these three different ways. Okay, any of those ways, if one engaging, that means we are offering to the Buddhas, right? And then to have inclinations to those activity, and that's the one. to have aspirations, to have a aspire. One should aspire oneself. Is it? One should aspire oneself to engage into any of those three activities. Encourage. Here it's talking about aspirations, right? One should have these aspirations, or they aspire. Just to say aspire, it also works, right? Sometimes. Yeah. And then no feast. So now here, this is normally, generally, in all temples and the dharma centers in the world. And then and the, let's say, the participant or the disciple who is uh, going to those temples, and they just doing all these things. They just offering all those substance, food, clothes, money, and facilities, right, and all these things. Likewise, also serving by volunteering in the temples. And then likewise, also practicing, right? So the practicing. So the practice, even either we do here in the center or you do there in your own home. It's same. So as long as you are practicing or implementing all these teachings, and this is it. One needs to understand that one offering to the Triple Gems. Okay. So be aware now here. Offering to the Buddhas, the offering, how these activities can done. There are three ways, okay? Don't only think when, as soon as we say offering, then must give some flowers or money or cloth or whatsoever, cloth, food. That's not only offer, okay? Offer means there are much more meaning than this. And then the second and thirds are actually more precious or great than the offering money and offering flower and offering clothes and so on. So yeah, and as I said earlier already, but when we say, oh, the another one is more important, and then, oh, I should not, I don't have to worry about the first type of offering. That's not the meaning, okay? So this is all important. So we need to have this mindset. It is talking based on all these activities are important. All these activities is the offering actions. Offering actions can be done in three ways that we need to be aware. Some person may can do all three, and some persons may do two of them, and some person may do one of them. Anyway, doing any of one or two or all three, it's something one should be aware. Yes, I am engaging into offering activities. Yes, that's how I'd say one should understand oneself, that what I am doing is what? It is offering activities. So offering activities means, yeah, it is positive activities. Here Shandadeva was saying, right? Offering to the Buddhas I have never made. So if I never made, then that's something we should change. We should have these aspirations to change this kind of mind, and then to have the aspirations to make a offering to the Triple Gems and to the teachers, and then how one can engage into offering activities to the Triple Gem and then to the teacher, as I mentioned above. So just aware about this. And then no feast were ever held through my donations. Yeah. So now, and then even the feast holding, oh, there's a many ways, right? Many ways to feast holding. So to the kind of like a poor or to the persons who are lacking all this food, shelter, and clothes whatsoever, providing all this. Yeah, so the not making pleased them. So pleasing them is so many ways. The person who is lacking shelter, offer shelter. Person who is lacking food, offer food. Person who is lacking drink, offer drink. Person who are lacking the cloth, offer clothes. Like that way. So that each has a many activities that we can engage. And then the third word, which is so important here. No works have I accomplished for the teachings, right? That is Tena Chawa Majedans. So how to do some works accomplished for the teachings or for the Dharma. In short, for Dharma, what can really I do? What really can I do? Right? What really can I do? So here mainly it's talking about the aspirations and not having aspirations to work something for Dharma. Now, this is something many of the students and disciples in around the world Dharma centers, and they do this. They serve the Dharma, right? They work for Dharma. So therefore now I want all of us to understand to serve the Dharma and how to define the what kind of activity is considering as a serving Dharma. So the serving Dharma, there are three ways that we can serve the Dharma, that we can preserve the Dharma. To preserve Dharma, to serve Dharma, and serving Dharma and preserving Dharma, it's also the self-benefit automatically as well. So but mainly now we're talking about here what Shantideva says is, no work have I accomplished for the teachings, right? So remove that aspirations and then to have these aspirations to do something for teachings, right? Work something, do something for teachings, means the sacred doctrine, the Dharma. So how to work for it, how to work for teachings, how to work for Dharma. So there are also three ways that we can do something for Dharma. First, let me give you the summarized one, the name, the title, like that we could do and work for Dharma in three ways, and those three are it's called the Thöba. In Tibetan, we used to say this three will, korlosum, means Thöba. Again, now here. Listening and teaching. Listening and teaching is the one way, and then contemplating on Dharma teachings. That's the one way of walking or doing something for Dharma. And normally we call this is the first will. And then the second will is the Pongwa Samdenji Kholo. Pongwa Samdenji Kholo means the will of the kind of like avoiding, will of, what's that? Pongwa Samden. something is samadhi, meditation, right? So the meditation which helps to avoid or uh, abandon our ignorance and the what do you call it, emotions. So that's something you call. And then the third one is the chawa leji korlo, the some sort of like the physically and verbally activities, performing some activities, volunteer and some sort of like that for the dharma. So in this three way that we can work for the dharma. And the first way, as I said earlier, this lokpa thyosamji kolo. Yes, we call this lokpa thyosamji kolo. Lok means the reading. Reading, and thösam means, thö means listen, and sam means contemplate. Reading, listening, contemplating. That is the one way of working for dharma. If any of us doing any of this activity or all of these activities, that means we are doing something for dharma. And then the second activity is, yes, as I said, avoiding or abandoning those all negative actions and emotions through meditations. And if any of us and dealing with our negative actions, dealing with our emotions and trying to subside or lay it low or extinguish all these types of emotions which we have, and also trying to prevent oneself, stopping oneself to engaging into those all negative activities. That's something which we call the second, that if any of us trying that, doing this, that means and one doing something for dharma. One's doing for dharma. And then the third way is that where these two facilities are maintained, or where the place, the location where these two activities are preserving, right? Preserved and supporting that particular particular place where these two activities are preserving and supporting that place, and trying to improve or develop that further, and try to preserve that place and supporting. That is the also, if any of us doing this activity, that means also we are doing something for dharma. You understand? So now, how one can work for the dharma, one can do something for dharma through these three ways. And then again, same thing here. And somebody can do all these three activities, and somebody can do only two of them, and somebody can do only one of them. That depends on an individual's competence, right? Competence, capability, competence. But here, when Shantideva was saying, no works have I accomplished for the teachings. So remove that aspirations, and then to have some aspirations to do something for Dharma. And then how to have the aspirations to do something for Dharma in willing to do any of these three. Okay? Any of these three or all of them. As long as anyone who have aspirations to do all of these three or any of this one, that means one doing something for Dharma. So one can be aware, one can be confident that, oh, I am doing something for Dharma. That's how that we can work for Dharma. And that's where we should have aspirations. This is what Shantideva here recommending. You should have aspirations to do something for Dharma. And then do something for Dharma, how I can, what I can do. We do the first one, uh, reading, listening, contemplating, and teachings as well. Yeah, listening, the teachings as well. So here, at this moment, you and me, we are doing, we are doing something for Dharma. This is exactly, we don't have to look so far. This is right at this moment. We all doing something for Dharma. And we need to keep that aspirations to continue willing to do this. We need to keep these inclinations to continue this what we are doing right now. So one listening and another talking or teaching. And then later contemplating on these teachings. And then reading prayers and all. There's, if anyone doing any of this activity, doing something for Dharma. And then the other one is more like this kind of like a trying to preserve this discipline, meditation, wisdom through that. And why? What is the main purpose of these three activities? Morality, meditation, and the wisdom. Main purpose of these three practice is to avoid negativity, avoid engaging into negative actions and prevent the source of negative actions, which is our own emotion, which we have, this hated emotion, jealousy emotion, and desire emotion, and the what do you call stingy emotions, and the pride emotions and ignorant emotions. And then more deeper self-cherishing emotions, self-attachment, and then even deeper dualistic mind. Main purpose of this preserving or practicing morality, meditation, wisdom, it's to stop or prevent those negativity and the extinguish the source of those negativity, which is those all emotion just I mentioned. And this is the main purpose. This is the main Buddhist principles, actually. This is the most important, our task, our responsibility of being a spiritual practitioner, and particularly Mahayana spiritual practitioner. Dualistic mind. For Theravadan, maybe that's not required. We have extra responsible, right? So you see, and that's the second way. If any of us, through discipline or the morality, through meditation, through conviction on its reality, the wisdom, through wisdom, and if one trying to avoid engaging into negative activities and its source trying to lay it low, eventually extinguish from its root all those emotions, as mentioned above. Anyone who is trying to do this, anyone who have aspirations to do this, that particular person doing something for Dharma. You see, that's how we can do something for Dharma. And then the third one is the most easiest one, actually. third one is most easiest one. The third one is that where reading, teaching, listening, contemplating, and where the preserving morality, meditation, wisdom, and trying to eliminate or extinguish or eliminate all those emotions and avoid all those negativities, where this kind of activity preserves, regardless, it's not necessarily only India and Tibet. Wherever these activities are preserving or maintaining, wherever in the world, and then with that understanding, and then supporting that particular place to this protect this place, to develop this place, to have a more access, more service, right? To further develop more service and more access to learn all this for the to the many peoples. For that, and then if people needed supporting through people, if financial needed supporting financial, if cleaner needed being cleaner. Yes, I'm serious here. Doing any of this is also considering doing something for Dharma. And regards to this third one is, let me tell you one history that I told this history to the many of my friend. That the even during Shakyamuni Buddha's time, even within those great disciple like Shariputra, he also have this confusion. He have also this lacking knowledge, lacking wisdom, that to practice the Dharma or engaging into Dharma activities or Dharma practice, either through reading, listening, teaching, contemplating, or practicing morality, wisdom, and meditation to get rid of all those and get elimination all those negativity and emotions. He also thinks only this is the way to engage into Dharma, to engage into spiritual practice. He also does. And later, this confusion removed by Shakyamuni Buddha. In regards to this, I will tell you this history about this small road. Small road. There's a small road. That is the name of the person, okay? Small road. And later he became Arahat. He was called Arahat Small Road. In Tibetan, Dachum Lamchung. Lamchung, right? Lam is road, Chung is small, Dachum is Arahat, right? Dachum, okay, this Lamchung, the small road, why his parent named him Small Road? There's a big history behind this. Now again, his parent, before having him, and they tried many ways that they could not have the baby. Always somehow they're losing their baby. This couple willing to have baby, but baby is not surviving. And it's hard to become a baby. Even the woman got pregnant, somehow they're losing baby. after a few months. And sometimes just after born, they're losing. They tried it few times, but they have failed to protect their babies. And then one day, and they don't know what to do now to protect their baby, to have a proper baby, right? Proper baby. And then they just conversating with the neighbors. Just we do here in the right. We do with the neighbors. We just talk. And then while we talking something kind of like very common, and then we talk also sometimes. In the meantime, we also find some oh, I missed this one. Understand? Do anything about this? That's kind of conversation we do normally, right? And exactly same this parent did with their neighbors. And when they did this when they had a conversation with their neighbors, and then they uh, are they any of one of those? I think this showing like internet connection is poor.
That was just my alarm for the last.
So you all guys hearing, right? Are you in same page with me?
I can hear. Yes.
Good. Okay. So uh, then, okay. So then this parent having normal conversation with their neighbors. And then one of the neighbor, and when they talk about this issue, and then one of the neighbor also has the same problem as they do. Luckily, they talk with the right person. And then what the other parents, the neighbors suggested to them is, oh, why don't you just try right after born baby, immediately you just go to the street and offer your baby to everyone, whoever you encounter. Just offer verbally, not offer exact, verbally just offer. Just say, oh, I would like to give this baby to you. I would like to offer this baby to you. Just verbally offer to anybody who you encounter, because we did that. So since then, our baby was survived. They recommended that. And then they thought, well, there's nothing to lose to try this. And then they just tried. This parent tried. And later, this husband, right after delivered the baby, and this husband took this baby, and then that he felt little embarrassed or agitation hesitation for himself to going to the big street. So therefore he went to the small road, and where he can encounter with only few peoples. So he just, anyone whoever encountering, he just saying, oh, I would like to offer this baby to you, I would like to offer this. Absolutely, that people are normally who are saying this, they will not take as a serious, right? Then what he got response from all of those peoples are, some people are saying, oh, thank you so much. Oh, some people say, oh, you long life. Oh, this baby is long life. Oh, like that kind of response he's getting it from the people. And then somehow he survived after that. And that's how this parent named him as a small root. They think he was survived because of this small root. If this small root, if the father didn't work on it and didn't offer this baby to others, and he may not survive. And he survived because of this small root. That's why they named this to him. But anyhow, unfortunately, he was so foolish. He was so foolish in his story, giving example, saying that A, B, when it comes to the B, he already forget A. That much foolish he was. And then parents thought, okay, maybe this is useless in mundane. And maybe we should put him in a monastery to become a monk. And then parents try to put them, how to say, parents trying to let him become a monk. And then parent went to Shakyamuni Buddha when he was alive in India at that moment. And Shakyamuni Buddha accepted, and Shakyamuni Buddha gave it to Shariputra to say, okay, Shariputra, you take care of this child and you teach him everything, right? Kind of like a pointing out someone to take care. That Shakyamuni Buddha give this child to Shariputra to take care. And then Shariputra tried to teach. And then after a few days or months, then Shariputra found it and he was also exhausted. And he found that this child is abnormal. So foolish. So this child may not going to be good for him to staying in a monastery and having all this monastery offers, and then he's not doing any of dharma activities, and which is not going to be good for him. Rather than he just better for him to just go out and survive with the anyway, being a lay beggar or whatsoever. That's what Shariputra thought. For him, maybe this is better to survive, not to survive by having all this monastic wealth, right? Facilities. Because he's not doing anything for Dharma, so this is not good for him to utilize. That's what Shariputra thought. Now here, this is what Shariputra had confusion, lacking understanding, engaging into Dharma practice. So he was thinking only either the first way or the second will, first will or second will to practice Dharma. He never thought there is a third will. Right? And then Shariputra decided him to kick him out from monastery. And then Shariputra took, hold in his hand, and Shariputra taking him to his home to give back to the parent that want to explain all this, your children is not good and he cannot practice Dharma, so therefore it's not good for him to stay in a monastery and utilize all those facilities of monks, since he's not being able to practice Dharma. And then Shariputra taking him out. On the way, luckily, Shakyamuni Buddha encounters somehow Shakyamuni Buddha is walking outside. And then Shakyamuni Buddha asked Shariputra, where are you going, taking with this Lamchung, the small road? And then Shariputra explained everything. And then Shakyamuni Buddha said, no, you don't do this. Let him stay in a monastery and let him clean, let him broom the around temple. Let him broom and clean around temple every day. And together with this, you just make sure this 2 words that he will recite while he is cleaning, while he is brooming the place, right? Around temple. Sweeping. Those 2 words Shakyamuni gave it to both of them are Dulpang Timapang. So Dulpang Timapang Shakyamuni Buddha taught to Lamchung and then said to Shariputra, make sure you are this student learn these two words, and then make sure whenever he is swiping or brooming the temple around, and let them recite this like a mantra, like a Om Mani Padme, Om Mani Padme, Om Mani Padme, right? Dulban Timavan, Dulban Timavan, Dulban Timavan, Dulban Timavan. And then this Dachum Lamchung, that small road, he wasn't Arhat, okay, anyway, at that moment. And then he's swiping every day, cleaning all the temple around, every day, long time, years and years. Then after a few years, like a long time, or not few, after a long time, after many years, by serving the monks and monastery in this way, and Shakyamuni Buddha came one day out to him, and then he listened, and he's just chanting like these two words, like a mantra, right? And then Shakyamuni Buddha pretend that, oh, like not knowing. And then Shakyamuni Buddha said, oh, small road, what are you saying those? And then he responded back when Shakyamuni Buddha asked that, and then immediately, like suddenly, that kind of like ignite the wisdom in his mind to able to explain describe the meaning of these two words. And then he said this, Dulni sadul minjin dachadu chujin dachandul vandala song. Dulni sadul minji shedandu chuju shedandul vandala song. Dulni sadul minji timundu chuji timundul vandala song. And then what he's really saying is actually this, the way he responds, what he's saying is, Dul means actually the dust. Pang means abandon or avoid, right? Dul pang, avoid dust. Tima pang means avoid stain. Avoid dust, okay, how to say, remove, okay, maybe remove is better. Remove dust, remove stain. This is what two words that Shakyamuni Buddha gave him before. And then when Shakyamuni Buddha asks, what are this? What are you reciting? And he responds this. And then, do you know what does this mean? And then he just pop up saying all these things, which I just recited. Which means what he's really describing, what kind of wisdom ignite within his mind is to understand this meaning of these two words. And then he's saying that the dust, you are not talking about the dust on the earth. You are talking about the dust of the mind, which is desire, that you asked me to remove. And then likewise, the dust, you are not talking about the dust on the earth, right? On the earth or the place, on the place. The dust, you're talking about the dust of the mind, dust of the mental, which is hated, that you asked me to remove. And then the dust, same, he's repeating, not the dust, it's talking about the ordinary dust, the dust on the earth, but you're talking about the ignorance, the mental dust, which is ignorant, you asked me to remove. You taught me to remove, right? Right at this moment, somehow he became Arhat. Since then, his name is called Arhat Small Road. He became Arhat. Now you see, without practicing Dharma, how it is possible to become Arhat, right? And then practicing Dharma is only either you just like a reading, listening, teaching, and contemplation, or kind of like the morality and meditation and wisdom, through that kind of like a working on that only. if that is the only two ways to engage the practice into Dharma, then this Lamchung cannot become Arahat. This, his story is proving that serving or supporting the place where preserving these two type of activities, it's also Dharma practice. It is also the way to engage into Dharma. You see, here, why I am telling you this here, what Shantideva says, no work have I accomplished for the teachings. So to some works, if any of us wants to accomplish for the teachings, then we can do in all these three ways. Okay, there are three ways that we can work something for teachings. And this, any of these three activities or all of these activities, more or less, all those Dharma centers providing this opportunity or facilities to participants or the students, right? So these are the kind of like at the same time, what I also want to understand all of us to is, these are the things that we need to put in our mind. This is the purpose to going to the Dharma centers, to do any of these three things, not to what you call it, not to worry about somebody, particularly some and someone's protect their face to just please that particular person. No. So we should come to the Dharma center. We should gather to the Dharma center to do any of these activities. This will going to be our kind of like a purpose of life too. If any of us able to do this, we fulfilling our purpose of life. And spending in this way, yes, we are spending meaningful life, engaging into these things. And this is something we all needs to be set in our mind. The fundamentally, I'm saying, okay, fundamentally, that we should have this mindset to going to Dharma centers. I'm not talking about only here, but everywhere, wherever we go, Dharma centers. We should have this kind of like intentions, willing to do any of those activities by gathering in Dharma centers. With these main intention, and then on the side also getting some bonus, then okay. Meeting with the good friends and have a little conversation with them and see them, each other, it's okay then. But these should be the site, not the main purpose of coming to the Dharma center. So the main to the Dharma, coming to the Dharma center should be this intention. Look, if anyone does any of this activity or all of these three activities, and that means oneself doing something for Dharma, working for Dharma. This is it. So we can be aware with this understanding how to differentiate that whether I am truly working something for Dharma or not. And this is how one should check. If one doing any of this, and then yes, you can say, regardless whether whoever agree or disagree, doesn't matter. Whoever like or dislike, doesn't matter. Concerning about other beings' like and dislike is so difficult then. No need to worry about that. What we need to worry about is that check ourselves, judge ourselves, look into ourselves, and then whether I am having aspiration in doing any of these actions or not, these activities or not. If not, try to have it then, modify it. If have it, great, then keep that aspirations, maintain that aspirations. And with that aspirations, work for it and do it. Go to Dharma center. If one doesn't have, modify it. That's what Dharma means, right? Dharma means modified, simply, actually. Dharma means modified. We need to modify it, whatever something improper, modify it to make it proper. That's the another kind of like a purpose of having Dharma center, actually. Having Dharma center is to have those facilities to participant to modify their intention, their behavior, their attitude, their way of thinking, and reduce emotion. Not increasing emotion, huh? And worrying about the surrounded people or what they think. Oh, if I don't do this, and this may not going to, this particular person may not going to be like. May he or she will dislike me. That kind of concern is, what I am saying is that I'm not saying that we should not have, be careless about others. But what I am saying is this, that kind of concern is not, should not be the main concern of coming to Dharma center. Main concerns to coming to gathering into the Dharma centers is to do any of those three activities as we discussed above, right? Any of those three wheels, in short. Each wheel has so many activity inside, right? Each wheel has so many activities inside. And this is something I feel so important, and to general every monastery or Dharma centers, and particularly here in the Western Dharma centers. Sometimes it feels like some participants are lacking this mindset, lacking this intention. This is something I felt important, so therefore I just elaborate more related with this word of Shantideva here. So he's kind of like gave me an opportunity to talk all these things related with this word of no works have I accomplished for the teachings. So how I can accomplish, I can work and accomplish something for the teachings. How we can do this, and until now we discussed very long. That's how we can do it something for Dharma. And if anyone who doing any of this, one can be aware, one can be feel, oh, I'm doing the right purpose of coming to the Dharma center. This is so important, right? Sometimes we feel ourselves, I want to study Dharma, blah, blah, blah. And then we ending up with some other intentions. Then messing up the purpose of coming to the Dharma center. So anyhow, so here what Shandideva was saying, one needs to have aspirations to it. And one needs to have aspirations to abandon this no work have I accomplished for the teachings. That's where we need to have aspirations. And likewise, the wishes of the poor I left unsatisfied. Right? Not providing facilities to the beggar in general. That I mentioned a little bit before too. It's similar, right? Ulbu Samba Zomaji. To fulfill their wishes, that who are poor. And there are so many ways to fulfill their wishes, right? Not only through giving money, no. Poor means lacking something, right? We can fulfill their wishes by main power, right? We can fulfill their wishes by communications, giving some idea, who doesn't have much facilities, and then give some idea, even small things, right? For instance, he like to have some table, but he don't have enough money to buy those expensive one. And then give some idea to how to build table by oneself, buying all those plywood and then giving main power support. And small things like that, yeah. This is also fulfilling their wish. Their main wish is to have a table, not the fancy, not necessary, right? Some maybe one is fancy table, even though they are poor. And then if you are able to give fancy table, yeah, then just give to fulfill their wish. And now here, fulfill their wish has so many negative too, that also we need to concern. Sometimes the very rough growth examples, like to those addicted to intoxication, and then thinking, oh, I have to fulfill their wish, and then providing these facilities to get more intoxicated. I don't know that is really fulfilling his wish or not. I will not go and do that if I have a choice. Anyway, so fulfill the poor people's wish. There are so many ways that we can do it. And doing any of this one. But they are still like just fulfilling their wish. How to say, wish of the poor I left unsatisfied. So this, I think, it doesn't goes to those, the poor who doesn't have enough money to get those alcohol and then not unsatisfying them. That's okay, I think. Then you don't need to worry about these words. That what Shandideva was saying, the wish of the poor I left unsatisfied. Even you left unsatisfied, that type of beings, I think should be fine. It's okay. But those poor who really need it for their survive, and to distinguish this thoroughly, properly, and then those addicted also, they may going to say so many conventional words that, oh, actually, this is really helping me to survive, actually. They may convince you, right? By saying all these things. If I don't have this alcohol, I may die today. And there's a lot of conventional words, that tricky words can be used here. But anyhow, so if I have a choice, I will not do that. If I know it, okay, that is also something needed, yeah. Sometimes we don't know what he's doing behind, right? So then we just give out of our, only out of our compassion, only out of our affection, right? I have not saved the frightened from their fears. The next stanza. Jigla minjik manjin dang nyamtha dema jinna da mayingal ji sumu dang dungal bashi kebra says. And then I have not saved the frightened from their fear. The wretched, is it? The wretched I have not consoled. So here now, again, Shantideva again teasing him, those next two lines. My mother pain, her womb, discomfort. This alone are my accomplishment of having this human form. So this is all above how many activities he mentioned. Each line mentioning one activities, right? Offering to the Buddha, feast held by donation, work for the Dharma, satisfied the poor, fulfilled the poor wishes, and save the frightened from their fear, and consoled the wretched person, right? Console to the richest person. Indirectly, what Shantideva was saying, we should have some aspirations to do these activities. We should have inclinations to do this. We should have interest, wish, willing to do any of these activities. Merely even not being able to have even an interest or willing or inclination or aspirations to doing these things. Okay, doing is far. Even not having aspirations to do all these things without having this inclination, aspiration. Then Shantideva here teasing, then what you have accomplished by having this human form is you accomplish the pain, the mother's pain, and then making her womb's discomfort, making her womb discomfort and providing pain to her is what you accomplished it by born in this human. This is something he is teasing. One way of saying useless. He doesn't really say directly useless. He say, then you accomplish, still accomplish, okay? Something you accomplish. Something we accomplish if we are failed to even at least having these aspirations, willing to engaging into above activities. Then what we accomplish is this. Indirectly, he is telling, then your life is useless. But anyhow, also that is mainly that what he's saying, that above he mentioned those all good qualities. Towards all those good qualities, to gain or obtain all those good qualities, one should have aspirations, as well as one should have aspirations to willing to engaging into all those 6 different activities that which he mentioned exactly within this words. Obvious way, not hidden way, right? And then to understand properly, okay, how to complete the offering to the Buddhas and how I can do some work for the Dharmas. In that way, I just elaborate a little bit, right? So keep that in mind and try to engage oneself whenever one wants to engage into offering, and whenever one wants to do something for Dharma, then do it any of these 3. And whenever one wants to offer something to the Triple Gem and teacher, do it something any of those 3s or all of those 3s. That's option. That's choice. 다님은 다다리야 쳐라 매단 자와이 퐁바 딘다 중앙 줄 수식 쳐라 매바 동스. So therefore now this is something like concluding the second one, that which Shantideva mainly talking about, that we should have aspirations to engaging into those positive or the good qualities, to have it within oneself. My failure to aspire to Dharma, okay, now and in the past, has brought me to my present dereliction. Is it dereliction? Dereliction. So therefore, who therefore would spurn such aspiration? Huh? Spurn, looking down, right? Or abandoning. Yeah. So dereliction. So the dereliction, yeah, actually, yes. Huh? Dereliction, yeah, dereliction, right? So has brought me to my present dereliction. Who therefore would spurn such aspirations? Means that indirectly what he is saying is that one should not lose these aspirations. That's not something very difficult to understand, right? Okay, so today we may stop here. So until now, what we have covered through is that Shantideva instructing where we should have aspirations. First, to what to abandon. How to say? For abandonness, how we should have, where and how we should have aspirations. And then the second one, to gain or to obtain, to what kind of qualities to obtain one should have aspirations. At least this is all talking about aspirations, okay? One should have these aspirations, wish, if I talk lightly, right? Wish. One should have wish to abandon those, and one should have wish to achieve those. Actual achieve is now, it is not talking about actual achieve, okay? One needs to have a wish to achieve. And so far, directly pointed out that where we should have a wish, towards what we should have a wish. And then after this, it's describing, talking about how that one could have this wish, by contemplating on those below meaning of the words that we can go later. So today, okay, so then we stop here. And also, since right now I'm remember, so I'll let you know that next weekend that we will not going to have this teaching. So the next weekend, we need to do some puja for some of our friends. So therefore, I'm unable to continue this one. Okay, beside that, if you have any questions, then we can discuss a little bit. If you have question, you can unmute yourself and then ask. If not, then maybe we can just do dedication and rest. Okay, then maybe it looks no question. Then we can dedicate. Sunam de damje zigbani tolne nyeben danam hamje ne shegana je walan tubai siben zolendo ando varsho jambal bawen jedara kembana kundu zambu de ande jende de da kunje jezun dalochi gewan de da damje ratongo gewan de sheokun sanam yeshe tsozon Sanam yeshe le jungwe, tamba kunyin tobra sho, sanje kusum nyebe chinlam, chunyi minjur dembe chinlam dan, gendin meche dembe chinlam ki, jidra ngwa melam dobar sho. So may read in English. By this beneficial activity, may I obtain omniscient, and having vanquished the harmful enemies, greed, anger, delusion, may I liberate all being tossed about helplessly by the wave of birth, aging, illness, and death in the ocean of becoming. By conforming to the knowledge of courageous Manjushri, Jambalyang, and in the same way as Samandabhadra, Kundusambo, and following their example, I dedicate perfectly all this virtue. By this virtue, may all being perfectly achieve the true accumulation of merit, sonam, and wisdom, yeshe, and may they thereafter obtain the two holy bodies which result from this true accumulation. By the blessing of the Buddha, Sangye, who obtained the three bodies, by the blessing of the immutable truth of Dharmata, Chunyi, by the blessing of the infallible aspiration of the Sangha, Gendin, may this prayer of dedication be accomplished just as it is. Thank you.
Hiểu tô cô.
Have a good day. See you.